The billionaire froze after seeing his poor pregnant ex-wife serving drinks at his engagement party. The grand ballroom of the Royal Crescent Hotel sparkled beneath crystal chandeliers. New York's wealthiest families had gathered to celebrate billionaire Ethan Carter's engagement to socialite Vanessa Brooks. Champagne flowed. Music filled the room. Camera flashes lit up every corner. Everyone believed Ethan had the perfect life. Everyone. Except Ethan. Since divorcing Sophia Parker 2 years earlier, he had buried himself in work. He convinced himself she'd left because she no longer loved him. That lie had become easier to believe than the pain. As guests applauded, Ethan stepped onto the stage. "I'd like to thank everyone for celebrating this special night." Before he could continue, movement near the back of the ballroom caught his eye. A waitress bent down to pick up a broken wine glass. Her oversized uniform couldn't hide the curve of her pregnant belly. When she looked up, time stopped. "Sophia," Ethan whispered. She froze. For a brief second, their eyes met. Then she quickly looked away and continued wiping the floor as though they had never met. Ethan couldn't breathe. Vanessa noticed his expression. "Ethan." He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped off the stage and walked straight toward the waitress. The ballroom fell silent. "Sophia." She forced a small smile. "Good evening, Mr. Carter." The formal words cut deeper than any insult. "What are you doing here?" "I'm working." His eyes dropped to her belly. His voice cracked. Are you married?" Sophia quietly shook her head. "No." "Then, who's the father?" Before she could answer, the restaurant manager hurried over. "Sophia, table 12 still needs service." She nodded immediately. "I'm sorry, I have to work." She picked up the tray and walked away. Ethan stood frozen. Vanessa grabbed his arm. "She's your ex-wife." "Yes." Vanessa frowned. "Forget about her." But Ethan couldn't. Not after seeing the sadness in Sophia's eyes. Not after noticing the worn-out shoes she'd tried to hide beneath her uniform. And definitely not after seeing the pregnancy she'd refused to explain. That night, after every guest had left, Ethan remained in the empty ballroom. He watched Sophia quietly stack chairs long after everyone else had gone home. She looked exhausted. She suddenly lost her balance. The heavy tray slipped from her hands. Before it hit the floor, Ethan caught it. "You shouldn't be lifting these." She gently took the tray back. "I don't have a choice." He looked at her with guilt. "Tell me who did this to you." Sophia smiled sadly. "You already did." Ethan's heart stopped. "What does that mean?" Tears filled her eyes. "It means..." She placed his trembling hand on her stomach. "The baby you're asking about is yours." Ethan's world collapsed. He stared at Sophia, unable to speak. The baby is mine," he whispered. Sophia slowly nodded. "I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks after our divorce." Ethan's hands trembled. "Why didn't you tell me?" A tear rolled down her cheek. "I tried." She reached into her purse and pulled out an old envelope. "I came to your office 3 times. Your assistant said you never wanted to see me again. I mailed you letters. They all came back unopened." Ethan felt sick. He had never seen those letters. Someone had made sure he never would. Just then, Vanessa walked into the ballroom. "So, this is where you've been." She noticed the envelope in Sophia's hand. A nervous look flashed across her face. Ethan immediately caught it. "You've seen these letters before, haven't you?" Vanessa remained silent. "Answer me." Finally, she looked down. "I paid your former assistant to destroy every letter Sophia sent." Sophia gasped. Vanessa continued. "I knew if you learned about the baby, you'd never marry me." The room fell silent. Ethan couldn't believe what he had just heard. "You stole 2 years from my son." Vanessa's eyes filled with panic. "I did it because I loved you." "No," Ethan replied coldly. "You loved my last name, and my fortune." He slowly removed the engagement ring from his finger and placed it on the table. "It's over." Vanessa burst into tears as she realized she had lost everything. Without another word, Ethan turned toward Sophia. "I'm so sorry." She looked away. "Sorry won't give our child those missing years." "I know, but if you'll let me, I want to spend the rest of my life making up for every one of them." Sophia remained silent. At that moment, she suddenly held her stomach. A sharp pain crossed her face. "Ethan, I think the baby's coming." Within minutes, they rushed to the hospital. Hours later, a tiny cry filled the delivery room. The doctor smiled. "Congratulations. It's a healthy baby boy." Tears streamed down Ethan's face as he held his son for the very first time. He gently kissed the baby's forehead. "I promise, I'll never let anyone come between us again." Sophia watched quietly from the hospital bed. For the first time in years, she saw the man she had fallen in love with. Not the billionaire, not the businessman, just Ethan. 6 months later, instead of hosting another glamorous engagement party, Ethan organized a family celebration at the same hotel ballroom. This time, the decorations were simple. The guest list was small. Sophia walked in carrying their son. Ethan smiled, walked toward her, and knelt on one knee. He opened a small velvet box. Inside was the same wedding ring she had returned years ago. Looking into her eyes, he said, "I can't change the past. But I can spend every tomorrow proving that choosing you will always be the best decision of my life." Sophia smiled through happy tears. She gently slipped the ring onto her finger. "Welcome home," she whispered. The guests applauded as Ethan wrapped one arm around Sophia and the other around their son. The ballroom that had once witnessed the end of their love story now witnessed its beautiful new beginning.